Hey everybody, welcome back to Havoc Maker Studio. My name is John, and we're going to try to get through a bunch of videos today. Yesterday I ran into a number of issues, so that prevented me from doing all the rest of the videos. So we're going to try to knock them out today. So first up, I want to talk a little bit about Shatterpoint, Star Wars Shatterpoint. If you're not familiar, Atomic Mass Games is doing a skirmish-sized game for Star Wars. So this is not the same scale as Legion. I'll show you a picture to relate to. This is not going to kill off Legion, because the difference between these two games is Legion is about playing a larger scale battle. You're going to be having maybe multiple character models, leaders, and multiple units, like 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on the size you're playing. Where Star Wars Shatterpoint, you're going to be looking at maybe 4 to 5 people. It's more of a squad based, usually centered around one, looks to be like one major character, and then subordinates and such after that. So it's a difference in scaling on multiple things. And of course, when these games come out, there's the fanfare of people worried that this is going to kill off game XYZ, and it's not going to. If I'll tell you, if Shatterpoint was going to kill off Legion, they would not be continuing to develop for Star Wars Legion, but they are continuing to develop for it. So it's not going away. Relax, ladies and gentlemen. I understand your fear totally, but it's not valid, right? Um, so let's get into the rest of this. So we're going to also talk about Shatterpoint a little later on, plus with a couple other games, a variety of games, and the relationship to Games Workshop and the negative impact it's going to be having on Games Workshop going forward. We'll talk about that in another episode, probably Monday. So Shatterpoint is coming out on June 2nd. Pre-orders should be popping up in most of your stores. Some stores had a special, they were part of a program with Asmodee where you could pre-order Shatterpoint through your friendly local game store and get a free Padawan version of Ahsoka. But Ahsoka is going to be coming out later on. It's not a big deal. Okay, so this box set is going to be $165 US. I'll let you guys figure that out in your own country, which actually is not a bad deal. We'll just quickly review. You're getting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters. Well, a couple main characters. We've talked about it before, but like Darth Maul, Ventress, Ahsoka, as the Fulcrum, I believe, Bo-Katan, Gar, Saxon, and Anakin. So you get 6 characters in there. Some of them are going to be more of the leader type, and others are going to be kind of like subordinates, like lieutenants, that sort of thing. And then you got the rest of your the filling out models. So there's a lot of models in this box, right? As you can see, hopefully on screen, or you've already seen. And then it's going to come with some terrain bits and everything else you need to play the game. And for $165 to get, was it 17, 18? I guess I should count. 16 models. 16 models plus terrain, plus the rules, all the doodads and widgets and everything that you need to play the game for $165. That's not bad. And if it's like in the same sense, and it looks like it, in the same sense that Marvel Crisis Protocol is, you only need to get this box. You don't need to keep adding on like other games, like say Games Workshop. Anything from Games Workshop, you have to keep adding on later, just to be able to round out your army, right? Like you look at the box or the upcoming Leviathan box, you will need to add on more, especially if you're just getting into the game. You're going to need to be adding on more to play most games at most stores of Warhammer 40,000. This box, you start off with essentially 2 forces that can intermingle. So that's not too shabby for $165. So looking at the rest, there are some issues that I think some people are going to be having, and I think Atomic Mass Games is going to be running into a problem in the future. if they keep doing this. We've already seen with Marvel Crisis Protocol twice now, with their Rivals. I forget what it's called. I think it's just called Rivals kits. The Sabretooth and Wolverine versus, and then the Spider-Man and Doctor Octopus. And I think they got another one coming down the line. Don't quote me on that, but I think I saw some information about that. We'll cover that next week. Anyway, so this box that's coming out is this box that's going to be coming out is from the Obi-Wan or the Kenobi TV show on Disney Plus, and this is going to be featuring that in-between era, the original series, which is The New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and such, and then the prequels, which was, of course, the Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, and all that jazz. And this is in between all that going on, and this is the Kenobi standing off against Darth Vader. I think this, if I remember correctly, this was on Tatooine. I could be wrong, but it is. Put it down in the description and feel free to correct me. So this is kind of a cool thing. You get yourself the two miniatures, and these miniatures are going to be unique, not only unique sculpt, but they're going to have unique stat cards, stance cards, and order cards and everything to play these two characters. And these are the first, I'm guessing, the first of characters that are going to be a multi-era, right? So right now we're focusing on Shatterpoint with the Clone Wars primarily, but we did see that eventually we're going to be moving into the, I'm just going to say, the in-between era, and then which is like Rogue One, Kenobi, and such, and then the original series, and then eventually, hopefully not, maybe, I don't know, the final series. I don't even know what they call it, the Force Awakens saga. Anyways, so what's interesting about these guys is that you can use them, you can mix them up with different era characters, right? So you could stick Darth Vader with Clone War troopers, or you could stick them with, say, the Inquisitors that are eventually going to come out. So you can mix and match, and that's a good sign, because that's just like Marvel Crisis Protocol, where you can mix and match characters all over the place. Now, there are some similarities with Marvel Crisis Protocol, but it's not the same game. Now, I think the miniatures look great. I mean, I'm not like super stoked about this, but it's cool that you get all this stuff, and you get the little terrain piece. And this is where the problem lies, is that this is kind of a paywall that you have to get past. It is $90 for this set. So we'll take a look at some of the other sets. You're looking at $45 normally, or you're looking at $45 per figure here, really, when it comes down to it, because that terrain piece, or that set that they've got there, that is for a display purpose. That isn't for game purposes, unless you're going to somehow work around. You're going to have to do some extra work to make that a terrain feature on your table if you wanted to make it look natural. So $90, $45 per model is dangerous. It's starting to get that, even though this isn't a limited edition, it's starting to get that fear of missing out shtick that Games Workshop really predates or preys upon the customers with a lot of their stuff. Overpriced sets, sometimes overpriced characters, for where they could just put this out. At the very least, I think most people will be all right paying $90 for this if the terrain piece there was usable in the game. That I think most people would have liked. Or a saving grace will be, let's say, 6 months after this drops, which is July 7th. 6 months after this drops, they'll go, hey guys, we're also going to go and include these two in a special pack. It'll be maybe $45. I would pay $45 for the two characters. That's cheaper in Games Workshop. So to give you an idea of the price points, there's the Shatterpoint Hello There General Obi-Wan Kenobi Squad Pack. With that squad pack, you're getting 4 characters for $50. So, I mean, that right there tells you how much roughly retail-wise these characters are. And, I mean, they're, about $12, $13 a piece, and you look over there and it's $45 for those characters. It's an absolute ridiculous I don't know if farce is the right word. It's a little BS. Because if you want those characters, that's the only way to get it. And who knows, maybe 6 months, maybe 9 months, maybe even a year down the line, they'll make those two characters available in their own separate packs. Okay, but to do that right there, I get why they do it, but I don't think it's the right thing to do. When we look at Dooku, they're getting the Count Dooku pack, which includes. I always get these guys mixed up. What are these guys called? Battle droids? No, Magna Guards. God. And Jango Fett. I mean, right there, you're getting two character models plus two little warrior trooper, whatever the vernacular is for the game, for what? $50. This is awesome. And this is why I like this game. I don't need these, but if I want to include Dooku, I can get it and toss it in. That's where I think that like games like Shatterpoint are going to, they're spelling trouble for Games Workshop. Real quick before so I can end this, so we don't go too much longer. Here's the size comparison. These are Anakin on the right is the 40 millimeter version for Shatterpoint, and on the left is the, I think it's more of like a 20, in between 28 true scale, 28 heroic scale. It's their own little scale in between for Star Wars Legion of Anakin on the left. So you can see the difference of the size comparison. So some people are like, oh, can I use these for Legion? You could, but no. Unless you buy, I mean, I guess some people might go, you know what? I'm going to buy a crap ton of these Legion boxes, and we're going to go ahead, or these Shatterpoint boxes, we're going to make a heroic scale, 40 millimeter scale Legion game, which would be awfully expensive. Holy crap. Anyways, so that's your size difference. It's considerable, which means you're getting a significant amount of detail increased, but they're still keeping it relatively simple. They're not overdoing it. They're not overreaching the bounds of common sense when it comes to detail work, like a lot of companies looking at Cheap Games Workshop, who over embellishes on the character designs or even on the model designs, and there's too much going on. Where I would be almost all right for like a bust or something else to have lots and lots of details, but these smaller miniature game miniatures, they don't need a lot of detail, especially when you're talking about troopers and warriors and stuff. They don't carry lots of bling into battle, but companies like Games Workshop likes to just overdo it, and it's a bit ridiculous. It's a bit ridiculous. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of this. Are you going to be joining on Shatterpoint course set? Are you going to jump in on this when it comes available next month? Less than a month now. Yeah, we're less than a month away. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll chat with you guys later. See ya.